Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to my channel. We're gonna try to get this stuff done today. I don't know how well I'll do when I did it again. I forgot to set my timer. I'll put it back here. I should be an expert here on how many clicks it takes, right? Okay, let's try that. Anyway, not that that's working for me, but you know, we're gonna give it a try anyway. Okay. We've got some work ahead of us, but before I get started on that, I just want to say again, the comments, the subscribers, the views, the thumbs up have been amazing. I'll tell you in a couple of weeks if it's stuck, because like I said, they like to come and go a little bit. But I have the last time I checked a little while ago, I think I had like 5,006 subscribers, and I think I had mentioned previously, maybe I've kind of been stuck in the mid 4,600 range for a while, a long while, and yeah, I don't know what happened, but I'm calling it a blessing from God. Let's just hope that sticks for me, and it keeps me moving. So many of you said that you hadn't seen me. I've been on for 5 years and you didn't even know I was out there. So I've gotten out there somehow, and I'm really thankful for that. Thank you for your wonderful comments, your encouragement, your kind words. Just, you have all warmed my heart. So thank you so much. But with that being said, let's get into this. One of the people who wrote to me from South Africa, and she said how much she likes the process. She wishes she could see more of it. I unfortunately don't edit, so because I don't know how. Yeah, so maybe one of these days I'll be able to do that, but we will see. But for right now, I want to get back to this because this didn't fit. And at first I thought I was gonna just kind of pull this up and just cut this away and maybe trim it down and put it on a new back. And then I thought, I don't know, because that's, you know, I don't know. So I decided I was going to make it smaller. So is part of my process, because when I measured this, I measured it probably wider than when I folded the paper. Like I measured it on the piece, not after I had the pocket ready. So that was a mistake. So this is how we fix mistakes. So what I do is I kind of go in here and see where the line is glued, okay? Sort of, kind of, like that. And then I go onto the other side and try to see where that line is glued so it's there. So I come here and I kind of just stay well within that. So I was thinking maybe about 2.5. And then I thought, well, okay, maybe a little bit more, we'll see. So I took a piece of paper, I cut it to what I thought might fit, and this is what I'm backing it with. It's just the 32-pound paper, and it comes out to be 2 5/8. Okay, so just not quite 2 3/4, not a little more than 2.5. And when I put it in here, it goes in. It'll go all the way down. It's a little weak right now, and there's room to play. So that works for me. So we're gonna do this real quick, and I did pre-cut a lot of stuff, pre-ink. But I decided I would let you guys see this process. Since so many of you said you like the process, there's some who were not as crazy about the process stuff. And every now and then, like I said, in the comments to a couple of people, I do tutorials. I'm trying not to like get this glue on my fingers again. And I did pull out a new bottle, so I'm ready when this one gets too low. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to measure how high. Let me get that first. Every now and then when I come up with a design for something I will do a tutorial. I'll come on with, I need something just a little stiffer than this. Let me see this one. Okay, this is cardstock, so it'll go in easier. But it'll give me the measurement I need. Ooh, that goes really far down. All right, so I want it no higher than the top of this pocket, okay? More or less, I think that's okay. Alrighty. So let's put this piece back over here. I have a pile over here. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. All right, I made that little dot. I'm just going to kind of line that up. I'm going to take my pencil and line it right here. Okay, I'm just going to stick that back up there. I'm hoping I don't lean into the viewfinder in the camera. All right, I'm going to line that up with my little dot. Cut that off, put that to the side, and this is now my card that is going to go in here. So now I'll go ahead and do this. So for today, there's going to be some pre-done stuff, some process stuff. I can show you how I did some of the stuff that I did off camera. And, you know, well, kind of a little bit of a combination of things. But like I said, sometimes I do tutorials on how to do things, or things that I've designed, or things that I'm redoing something that I may have seen somebody else do. And if I've seen somebody else do it, I let you know that. So they may not be the original person. There's been plenty of YouTube videos that have gone out with things that I've made, but because I made them and then somebody else made them, and whoever then watches that channel, not my channel, sees them do it and they don't remember who they got it from, they give that person credit. So sometimes the credit does get lost in the sauce sometimes. But sometimes you do okay. All right, so I'm just going to do that. And I was thinking about doing the corners on this, but I'm not sure. And if I did, I should have, well, this is the new one. I took out a different one. I don't know how well that'll work. Let me see something here. I'm going to take this. Now this has glue on it now too. I kind of like this one, but let's see if I can, and I apologize if this shakes the table because my light is attached to my table. Again, I'm not very high tech. Nope. I cannot get it through. See what it does there? It'll go through a single sheet, but it won't go through that. So I think I'm probably just going to round the corners on this and leave that part alone. I'm not going to play with that anymore. So let me just cut this out. Put that. Oh, another story for you. I was looking because I wanted to have, I thought perhaps, let me just do this for me 1 second, because even though it's cream and white, I'm having a little bit of a hard time distinguishing between the two. Again, that's that depth perception thing. If it's the same colors and I'm not getting a shadow between the two of them, I can't tell where one begins and the other ends. So I need to do a few little tricks to fix that. So anyway, so I'm looking for some charms, and I have overloaded in some cases my storage units. I have a lot for somebody who doesn't get on very often. Probably why I have a lot, because I don't get on very often. Oh dear, I'm volcanoing again. Trying to find something in the garbage can I can use to just clean this up, close this up. I close it up. For some reason, when it gets to the bottom of the bottle, these bottles, it does that. You got to try to remember to get the lid on good. And I'm, again, not sure what happened to my sugar bell. I think the glue just maybe got too cold and started to get harder. I'm still debating what I'm going to do with that. But anyway, so I go looking for little charms. I just need something small. And I pull out this gigantic drawer, which is probably 2 feet by 2.5 feet. And this little kind of metal cabinet that I have. And you will see that pretty soon. I know I've been promising probably for 1.5 years. You're going to see a tour of this craft room, but every time I turn around, I find more stuff. And it ends up on the floor in piles until I can get to it and put it away. But soon, even if I have to move that stuff out of here to the other side of the basement, just so that you can see what I have done, which sounds like a good idea. Oh, you know what? Let me round these corners. I'll do that. I think I can do that. Round my corners. Here we go. I think we'll just do 7. This should work. Should round them before I do anything else. That way I know I haven't wrecked it. Now see, this works with my thumb, arthritic and everything. The other one I can't get through. I don't know, go figure. But anyway, so maybe I will get one of these videos up. And again, just keep in mind, I'm in a basement. I mean, truly a cellar. You know, the floors were painted once, probably 20 years ago, and the paint is coming up, and it's painted in this little corner where I am. It's cinder block, but it's painted. And, you know, in this little corner, well, it's kind of painted around, not very well, all around. And I've got makeshift stuff. I use cardboard boxes. I use milk crates. I have some different shelving type of things. Nothing fancy. You know, just that kind of stuff. So anyway, so I'm doing the, made this smaller, okay? I will lose these butterflies. If I can dig some more out, I will. If I can't, I'll cut some. I'll get them on there later. Or maybe just try to peel this off and recut, you know, cut them from there. Hold the thought about my disaster. What I need is something to round this with. Now that this is not the same size as this, it's smaller. I prefer to do something. Oh, let's look at this. It's amazing what you might find. I am going to put this square on here. I'm using the grid lines. I think down here would be sufficient. I'm trying to see what would be the middle of this. Let's just give this a little bit of a mark. I have here. So let's see. Let's start with this. We're going to use this. So this is about 4.5 inches. I'll just move it up. Well, here, I'll move it up here. Let's move it this way so you can see. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a half, and then just like another 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So half of 4 is 2. This is how I measure. My son would be so proud of me. Half of a half is 1/4 of an inch, which is here. And then half of an 1/8 would be here. So this should be, now I can't get the lid off. Okay, there we go. This should be about the middle. And if I had looked, there's a little thing right there, right where that mark is. So that tells me where the middle is. So watch this. Watch what I'm going to do here. I am going to take this. I'm lining it up with that little bump that I had and the line that I made. Okay, let's put it down. I'm going to try to just get it on a line. There we go. On a line, straight. I'll tip it this way. Same distance here and here. I'm going to put a mark up here. And that's going to be my center point. Again, I'm not really measuring. I'm just sort of, you know, trying to get things straight. Now let's make sure I got the top of this. Always a good thing. It doesn't matter where I line this up. I just have to line it up straight. Okay. I should turn it. I'm going to turn it just a little towards me, guys. And try to line that up. Actually, I should turn it this way. On this line. And again, this is my depth perception. So it may be a little difficult for me. And then I have to make sure that it's straight down here. That looks about the same from here to here, this way. Okay. And on the line, I'm thinking, let me flip it over on the back. Because then if I make a mistake, if I draw the curve and I don't like it, I can always go back. Oops, there we go. And fix it. So 1, 2, look at that, you little stinkweed, because you're wider than what you should be. I'm going like it's 2 inches. It's not. All right, we're going to do this the easy way. We're going to fold this because the top's going to be missing anyway. Sort of. We're just going to give that a little pinch. Oh my goodness, that thing's tight. And then I'm just going to put a dot. And I have to come at things slowly because I don't know how far away I am from things. Put that away. I don't think I'm going to need that anymore. That's why it wasn't looking straight to me. So we'll get it straight with this line here, hopefully. Yep. Then we'll get this straight with the dot here. Nope, I'm a little off. I got to come at it from the side. And then we're going to make sure that this and this are the same, so I have to tip it a little bit. Okay, which means I might have to come down a little bit, but no, I'm good. That and that look just about the same. Push it down a little bit more. And go ahead and make that curve. And now I've got another, oh, I was going to say I got another ruler, but it came off. Oh, well. Okay, so that looks pretty good. It may not be quite the curve that I have on the other ones, but that is okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I have found, for me, and I know everybody tells you move the paper, not the scissors, and that's for anything, but if I'm cutting something on a curve, I have found if I pull this way and if I pull this out slight tension and the scissors out slight tension in the opposite direction, I have better control, as I slip off, I have better control over getting or staying on the line. So my circles come out a little more even and not so choppy. Seems to work better for me, so. All right, I'm hoping that'll be good enough. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all. I can put it up a little higher. I think that'll be fine. And I have this down here. And I will have to put new butterflies on it and stuff like that. But for right now, we'll just do this part. I have all kinds of butterflies. I have things all taped here. I'm going to have to look, though, to find another one like this, because I like this one in this size. But for right now, let's go ahead and ink this. And when I do the final quote-unquote flip-through of this, whatever other little embellishments, because I inevitably find something, I will show them or point them out in the video. So anyway, back to my disaster. So here I have this drawer. My top drawer, the top is full of fussy cut things. It's kind of open. It can be a drawer, but it's open on top, so who needs to pull it out, right? The second drawer is full of ink stuff. My ink pads, my you know, things like this, my little finger ones, the you know, refill bottles, anything that's like kind of ink or ink related. My wooden stamps, you know, the ones that have wood backing as opposed to the cling stamps that we use, because I really have no good way of putting them anywhere else. So, you know, I figured I'd put them in where I could keep the ink. Heavy drawer, not too bad. Bottom drawer has trims, like that little rosebud trim, you know, you can put it along like a lace or something like that, different braids, things like that. It has that kind of stuff. But the third drawer down has metal. Okay, it has a lot of metal in it. It's got charms, it's got buckles, it's got bells, it's got I even have like a rusting formula thing in there in a blue bottle because you use it on metal, so I keep it in there. Just makes a little more sense for me, who puts things away and can never find them again. So I'm starting to ooze here again, so let me just get that on there. So anyway, I'm looking through this and I can't find what I'm looking for. Kind of going nuts. I pulled the drawer, I closed the drawer, and I had pulled out a couple things, and I'm like, I know I was looking for bronze colored leaves, small little leaves. And I'm like, I know I had them. I'm like, I gotta look again. So I pulled the drawer out and it just fell. Sorry about that bang. Sorry about the shaking of the camera, but it just fell. It fell right out of the runners. Now, nothing fell out of the drawer. thankfully. But yeah, it just fell right out of the runners. And so now it's tipped backwards. I can't close it. Otherwise it'll fall into the drawer below it, which has all the trim in it. And not that that's a bad thing, but I'd rather not. And so it's tipped halfway open, resting on top of the trims in the drawer below it right now. So it's like, oh my gosh. So once again, I need to rethink where I'm keeping all this stuff. Yay. So anyhow, all right, this is gonna come out. That's not bad at all. I think that will be okie dokie. Now this can't have, because of where it's going, oh my gosh, it's me. It's just as bad. This is all the stuff that oozes out. Okay, let's try to get this on before it gets too far. And I will work on cleaning off my fingers. But like I said, this is why I love this glue. Look, it just rubs. If it dries and gets stuck, I have these little glue erasers that I can rub my fingers with. But it's so easy to clean up, I think. So anyway, so now I've got to go into this drawer and like half empty it. I'm going to have to figure out, you know, what I really need to keep by me, and what things I'm really not going to use. Like I have jingle bells, those sleigh bells. I can put it with Christmas stuff, which is on the other side of the room, because how often do I need that? All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. Let's just check and make sure this one fits. And like I said, nothing can go on the top, really, because of the nature of how it's going into this pocket. So it does go down. I don't want to play with it right now because I still have wet glue on it, but so that one works. I'm going to put that one to the side. We're going to leave that alone for right now. So essentially this part is done. Okay, I did this tag before. I did not have the butterfly on it, but since I had put the saying down low on this one and high on this one, this sort of didn't have anything. So I took the butterflies and put them on so that this at least had something else on top. And I am probably going to, I did not cut these corners, which I should have. I think I did cut these after the fact. So let me get that cutter. Hang on, I've got to find out which one that is. That's this one, I do believe. Yes, okay. So I'll do that and I'll trim this lace off. That is not a problem. Just what I did on the other one. Okay, and then on the bottom as well. So then I just have to re-ink them. I was working pretty late last night and I had been down here all day because Saturdays, that was Saturday, today is Sunday. It's my laundry day, and so that takes me like all day. So I just stay down here in the basement for the most part and do what I like to do. I want to get this trimmed right here, just a hair more. There we go. So you can see the roundness of the cutter here. So anyway, so I was pretty much down here all day. I was watching some other people's videos, and sometimes I want to watch fully. Sometimes I can just listen and glance up while I'm doing the work I'm doing. Yeah, so that's kind of what I did. See a little bit of this lace hanging over the edge, so I'm going to get that off. Okay. So that was my story with, you know, I was really kind of pooped last night when I went upstairs, but I was so invigorated by all the encouraging words that I was getting from everybody. It just made me want to stay down and play a little bit more. Like I said, I don't get to it very often. I'm going to do this right now because I want to try to put these things in as much as I can. I don't get to it as often as I'd like to get down here. I just saw something that didn't belong. Here it is. if you do this, well, I guess if you do any kind of crafting at all, but particularly I know you'll hear a lot of I'm off camera again, sorry. You'll hear a lot of the people, wrong scissors. This is what I've been cutting my ribbon with, so it doesn't fray as much. Teeny tiny little pinking shears. They may not look perfect, but they work. And it helps to keep the edges from fraying too much. As you can see, my other alternative was to do like a thin watered down glue. Okay. And oops. That was my previous thing, but a lot of the times you can kind of tell, especially if you go up too far on the ribbon, I should say. So let's see if I can get my fat fingers to do this. All I'm doing is just a simple tie. This is it. I'm going to try to get that on top. And see, it's still longer than I would want it to be. Get this back out. So yeah, that was pretty invigorating for me yesterday. Yeah, we're gonna put that one in here. Okay. And let's get this one. That's for the tie, which I think I will go ahead and tie, only because I think I want to put a little bit of decoration on these pockets. So anyway, I was just really, kind of on a roll. But when you're away from this, even like you'll hear some of the artists say, some of the creators say, I haven't been down or in my craft room for, a week, and I'm kind of out of practice or whatever. Try being out of here for 2, 3 months, 4 months, maybe sometimes, for that it is for me. And I'm just not around. And God bless all those lovely people who will email me and say, are you okay? Because I haven't seen you, and bless their hearts. So this one goes in here. Okay. So even though you can't see that butterfly, you see this, and then you got the butterfly that's over here. I'm going to leave these down just in case I need them again. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and close this. And this was something I thought I might put on this pocket. But before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and do the other cards, the other journaling cards. I'm stuck. Okay, there we go. So I was eager to get back down here today to try to get as much of this done as possible. Now this is saying I've got 7 minutes left. There's no way I'm going to get done what I want done in 7 minutes. I'm looking, and again, as always, I apologize if there is an abrupt and sudden stop to my videos, because I never know when my phone is going to say, no more room. It's a problem I've been having lately. I don't understand it, but nonetheless, it is one of my issues. So I try to apologize in advance because I don't see it coming. All right, let's try to pull that out. Okay, so that's that. And I will go back and trim those later. Okay, so I'm still considering doing something on here like this, perhaps here, and maybe 2 other little quotes or something. I don't know. I may not get to that today. It may be something that I just finish up later. So the first thing I'm going to do is, these are the 2 that are going to go, I forget where these go. These go, where am I? That's this one. Okay, that's this one. And this one goes down the middle. Okay, so this is one that's going to go under the belly band. Now, before I get started on these, I'm going to show you something. I was trying to decide what kind of pockets I wanted to put on to the piece, and I didn't want to put something else that was solid. So I pulled out 3 things that I had. One was a vellum, and this was a heavy vellum. I do have like 3 different thicknesses. And though you can see through that, I didn't know if I actually just wanted the vellum. Then I pulled out a little bit of plain rice paper. You can see through that, like the texture. I think the texture, the size of the texture, the scale of it was off for this. So I thought, no, I don't want that. This was a piece of just cheap dollar store wax paper that I used when I made a piece for my prairie journal. And I wanted to see if I could kind of wax up the outside of the piece. I'll show it to you at another time. To change the texture of it without making it oily and see-through like when you use beeswax. So I thought, well, let me just, you know, cover it and iron it. I put a parchment over it and ironed it, and it did change the texture. Didn't feel waxy at all, but it also changed the texture of the wax paper and made it very, very light and very, very thin, almost like glassine. I don't know that it's strong enough to do a single layer. So I wanted to see, one, if glue would hold it because it is still waxy, and two, if I could still see through it. So before I started the video, I came here and I did different kinds of glues. So these three are glue stick, my Japanese glue stick, the photo glue stick, and the Scotch permanent. This is Barely Arts glue, and this is 3-in-1. So what I want to try to do, let me just take something. Well, let's take this. So this is the 3-in-1. It's folded in half and glued, and that's how that looks. I just took little pieces. This is the Barely Arts, folded in half and glued. It's a little cloudy, perhaps, compared to this. Probably can't tell much difference. This was the Scotch permanent glue, a glue stick. This was the photo glue, which is the one I prefer using. It seems to hold things much better. And then this was the Japanese glue, also pretty see-through. But to tell you the truth, what looks the best to me is the 3-in-1. It's this that looks the best. And as far as I can tell, it's holding it together. All of it is glued and it's staying together. So I'm happy with the results of any of them. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the glue stick though. And I may do those pockets. I need to do 2 pockets. I'm going to do 2 corner pockets, one here and one here. And then I'm going to do a belly band on the back. And of course, that's going to have to be reinforced. I'm still working on that. But this is going to be the tag for the belly band. It's all ready to go. I just have to glue it down. I just kind of pinned it in place here. What I did was I already had shrunk these pages down to 2 to a page from the normal thing. So they were like this, okay? I either cut them this way or I turned it this way, depending on how I wanted the picture to go, because it could go either way. So then I took the pages and I shrunk them down again. So if you see, this is the same picture as this. I put 6 to a page. That's the same thing. And I just hand cut it out, fussy cut it out, and I'm going to use that to go on the edges of the pages here. And I think I had this up here and the butterfly on the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take the glue. I think it's time to start the new bottle. It's like it's anxious to get out. So we'll just go ahead and, no, I say anxious to get out. It was one little drop. I have to wait for it to come down to the tip here. Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. So we're just going to put these together with a little bit of the decorating. Again, I don't know the size of the card. I just stick my ruler in and see what looks good. I cut a piece of cardstock. If it fits, great. If it doesn't, I just make the adjustments until it fits, and then I cover it from there. So basically that's what I do. So I'm going to just put this here. Like I said, this one's going to go under the belly band in the back of the piece. So I think ultimately it gets 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 8 tags on this little piece. I don't think I inked this. So let me just kind of go around it a little bit. You do have to be careful because it's delicate. these little pieces and edges and stuff. So, and this I'll do with, I have my, let me put these out of the way. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. So that was my thought there. And this is why, that's my timer. This is why, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I miss when I can't see it. This is why I have a little spot in here that did not come out. Right there. Okay. It's out now. I forgot what I was saying. Sorry about that. So we'll just go ahead and use this to put these flowers on. But oh, I was starting to say, this is why as I'm working on a piece, I don't always know, you know, exactly what I want to do. And I think, you know, I look through my fussy cut flowers and I'm like, no, this is really too like dark or bold, or, you know, not the right colors, or the wrong something. It just doesn't quite make it. And I thought, well, you know what? When I was doing this, I thought, why don't I just go ahead? I'm wondering, do I want to do it this way? I think I may. Because this cannot get anything on the top of it either, like lace or anything, because it's under the belly band. And that stuff only gets caught when you're trying to take it in and out, or it doesn't quite fit. Okay, I thought these were stuck up, but they're really not. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put the butterfly on. Let me make sure. I thought I had inked everything, but I don't think I did. Just to be on the safe side. And some of these, well, not these flowers because they're coming out of the same paper, but sometimes the flowers, or particularly the butterflies, are too bright for what you're doing. So I just lightly go over it with my dauber, with my, you know, my ink, and kind of vintage it up a little bit. Then it tones down those brighter, bolder colors, and kind of makes it, makes it blend a little bit better. All right, I think we'll go right there. I don't want to cover a lot of the flower. And there we go. So that's the belly band tag all done and ready to go. And the belly band will go right there. Where am I going to put this? I'm going to put this right there with the other guys. And I'm getting warm, so let me just take off my thing here. All right. These, same thing. I cut this out of part of the paper, and I'm going to use this on here. So it's the same kind of thing. This is where I've got my, what do you call it? So what I'm doing here is, these are the ones that are going to go into the two side pockets. So for what I want there, I'm going to put lace along the outer edges. So one's going to go on this side, one on this side. Okay, that's going to go this way. And I made these little tabs, and I made these with my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch, but I have the mini one as well, and I made it with that because I didn't want anything big. I just want something to help to kind of pull it out of the pocket. And this was where I was thinking about using these charms. And I got keys, and I thought, well, keys are okay, but you know, they're not garden. So this is what I was looking for when my drawer fell out. So I don't know if I'm gonna try at least to do one. We'll see if I can get a small eyelet in it, and I don't know if a ball pin will work or not, but I may make some adjustments. So the key thing here, again, let me put this one to the side, is again gluing this down where you want it before. Actually, I think this one's gonna have to go over, yeah, that one goes over that way. So the first thing I want to do is I cut the lace. Now, I sometimes, I like to cut where the design begins and ends. Okay, that's a little crooked, but, and And sometimes it's a little short to do that, but if you stretch it, not everyone can, but if you stretch it, you can get it from end to end. So that's what I'm going to do with this lace. I'm going to put that on first. And this was another thing. This is on the paper. I thought maybe it was my printer, this little kind of glob of here and up here, a little bit here. I thought it might have been, you know, ink on my printer. But I looked at the actual digital on the computer, and it is there. So intentional or not, I'm not sure. But in either case, it gets covered here. So I'm just going to kind of lightly spread this out so it goes back a little further. Okay. And then make sure I've got the right side. Put that out there. And I'm going to put this here. I don't want a lot of it hanging over. And I'm going to bring it all the way out to here. Hopefully that is even. It looks even. And I'm just going to hold it here for a second. Push that up to make sure that it's sticking. Okay. And that's it. It goes end to end now and stretches it out a little bit, but nobody is the wiser about that. And it begins and ends on the proper place. It's not cut somewhere in the middle. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this here. The next key thing is putting this where I want it. Okay. So I need to have it on here without covering anything, if that makes sense. So it may have to go down a little bit because this one is tall. Nope, definitely going this way. Definitely got to be a corner thing. I'm thinking that might be enough. I may not have to do the tabs. When I get it where I want it, now I worked on this yesterday and it worked for me. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Okay, because it hangs out over a little bit, and I don't mind that covering the T a little bit. What I need to do, first let me put it where I want it here. Okay. You can kind of play with where it's going, you know, bend it a little bit. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue there. That holds that in place. I'll pull this here and I'm going to put a little dab of glue under this leaf and a little bit under that leaf. There we go. And that holds that in place. And you do want to try to get under as much as you can. Okay, so that takes care of that. But now what I need to do, because this is hanging over, I just want to tuck this, and I'm going to turn this around so that I can get in at it better. I don't want that hanging over too far, and I'm just going to tuck this under the other flower like that. And then I will tack that down. So it looks like it's kind of coming out from behind that flower. And then it fits on here without any real issue. So let me go ahead then and get out my volcano glue and go ahead and glue this. Okay, and I'm not going to worry at this moment. Some of these things may not, you know, the tips of the leaves or something, or the corner of the quote may not get enough glue. If it's not completely glued down, I'll go back later and, you know, just stick the little end of the glue underneath and tack it down. I'm not going to take that time here. So that's what we're doing with these. And I'll just do the one of each just to kind of, I think that's straight. It's probably down on the right. You know, if anybody ever buys any of these things from me, since I've had the problem with my eye, let me know. if something is crooked. See, here's one that it didn't quite, you know, get enough glue on it, but that's okay. We'll go back and get that later. Let me know if you think anything looks crooked that I may not have noticed, because if I don't realize it's crooked, I can't work on trying to learn how to adjust. For instance, when I drive a car, if I'm pulling into a parking space or backing into a parking space and I don't know if I'm straight, I used to be able to do it one smooth move. Not so much now. It takes some, you know, trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to put this down here like so. Okay, so that is this one. If I want to put these tabs on, I'm going to have to lift this up. I'm actually, that one could go under there. I don't have it completely glued down. I don't know that I want to cover the lace. I think it may be okay. I'll let you know what I do. I might have just dropped that drawer for no good reason. But anyway, so this is going to be the ones that go on the side. Let me make sure that I don't feel any loose glue. So this one is going to go on this side, okay? Like so. And honestly, no, oh, look at that. Look at how pretty that looks. Just, and it's plenty to help pull it out. Oh, I love that. Happy accident. Love that. Okay. I'm going to take that one out. We have those. Now we're going to do one of the ones for the front. Okay. So I'm going to glue this one down and we'll go ahead and do this one, I think. No, you know what? Let's do the one I've already got glued. I already glued this one because this could take a little finesse. I have this nice little stuff, and I'll get back to my story in a minute. But when you cut it, it starts to unravel. What I have here is I've glued this, okay, before I put it back in the package, so it's stiff. So what I need to do, and I think I'm gonna go, I can measure it this way, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go from the butterfly to the end. So I'm gonna take some of this glue, probably be happy it's spouting out now. Okay, I'm trying to get the lid off with one finger. I'm gonna take some of this glue and I'm just gonna go right along in here and try to get a little glue on that braid part. Okay. I think I have to go over a little bit more this way. I can always poke out any glue that's coming through. I don't even mind doing it all. Why don't I just do it all? There, okay. So there's for that piece. I'm gonna cut it here. I'll cut it right here. You can see how it already comes apart. Okay, like on my finger. I know that that is going to be cut off, so I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm just going to put a little more glue on this, and I'll have to rub this off my fingers, but that's okay. Hopefully this will dry. I might put a little of this on too, just to be sure. All right, because it's really got to get into the fibers. All right, so we have that one. And then we're going to put another piece down here. So I want it to come out further out. I'm going to bring it to here, so I'm going to go about here. Might as well just use this one. Let's see if this one works. I'm going to go a little beyond it, so it gives me enough room to play. So yeah, so if you see me doing this and it looks kind of wacky, it's because I can't tell how close I am to something. So that being said, I have learned that if I pull into a parking space and look at, you know, the next aisle in front of me, if I look straight compared to them, or backing into a space and I look at something in front of me, either way, if I look straight to it compared to them, I'm crooked. It means I'm tipping too far to the left. So when I get out of the car, my car's like this instead of like this. So that being said, I do my best to make sure I tip just slightly to the right. When it looks like I'm tipped to the right, just a little bit, I'm straight. When I get out, I'm straighter. So that is my little, tip for me about what I have to do to, I'm going to have to go down here a little bit more with this. And again, this is a process thing. That's why I'm showing it. Yeah, that's what I need to do. So, yep. All right, so this is my part here. I'm going to put that right along here, and that's where I'm going to cut right there. And there should be glue. I don't want to get those loops. I just want to get the braid. Okay? And I'm going to go along the top of this with the glue. And I'm going to try to put this down as best as I can, like so. Okay, let's make sure that's straight. It is not. Okay. This glue may not hold it too well. It's sticking to my finger darn well, I'll tell you that. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens with that. Then we're going to go ahead here and do the same thing. We've got a clean edge here, so I'm going to put it up against this. Okay. And we are going to cut it. I'm going to let that get just a little tacky. And this one is going to cut right between these two. And again, just the braid, not the loop, which is easier said than done. So yeah, so if you buy something from me and it looks a little askew, let me know. And I will practice. Oh, I need to go the other way. I will practice on making that right. This one did come undone. Okay. I may be a little short on this one. Oh no, it's okay. It is okay. So, got that one on there like that. Got that one. This is holding pretty well. Holding pretty well. All right. So the next thing I want to do with these, and I'm going to put an eyelet in here as well, and this will also get a ribbon because it's going to be in a side tuck. We're going to put some pearls on. So let's see. I think all I'm going to do is just a little this way and a little this way. So let me get, and these are really, really small. Some of them are really tiny. I actually usually have to do them like this. Oh, that doesn't belong in there. That's a big one. All right, we're gonna put a little dot of glue here. These tweezers are generally a little sticky because of the glue, because these don't have any adhesive on the back of them. So I'll put another dot there, a dot there, and I think we'll just use the same one here. Come on. Sometimes easier said than done. So yeah, if I don't know that I'm making a mistake, then I can't fix it. And I want to, practice and learn how to adjust to vision in this eye. It's really being a problem. I have a thing that I bought that they said, oh, this is what you use to pick up beads and things. Yeah, well, it doesn't work for me. I must have gotten the wrong thing. So, but anyway, I'm going to try just my finger. Now I can't get it off my finger. Here we go. And we'll put it right there. Okay. A few little pearls there. Nothing too much, just a little bit. And we'll do a dot here. We'll do the dot here and the dot there. And let's see what we can get. I just dropped that one. Here we go. It's easy to get them on the paper. It's not easy to get them on right side up. Most of the time they just want to flip over. It's like, no, no. I should have put the middle one on first. Flip, flip. There you go. All right. I think I moved that. Oh, hang on. I was going to say, don't get stuck on my finger. And with all that playing, I move that glue. And do I have another one? I do. Okay. Let's try to flip that over. I have very fat fingers. So, all right. So there we go with that. Just a few little pearls. Put that back there. Let's get my stuff out here. I have a crocodile, but I use this because I have slightly larger, whatever you call them, grommets, eyelets, then the crocodile will make the hole for. So I use the single one and then do the crocodile to set the eyelet. Oh, and look, that's not supposed to be in there. So, all right. So let's do that. We'll put this in here and we'll put that on here. And we will go this way. And I usually do have to pull this away from the camera because I have to really press down on it. So, yeah, good. And then this will also, ouch, get a piece of ribbon. But that now is going to be one of the ones that goes probably on this side because of how the pearls are going. And that's going to set here in that pocket. I don't know how long I've been on. Let's put this over here. Again, I'll do the mate to it. Okay, let's try to square this up and see what we get here. I'll just clean this up later. Try to get this. This is the side where I tore it because I can see the serrated edge. So we'll get rid of that. So yeah, it seems just get the cheap wax paper and iron it through parchment paper and it really comes out to be really like glassine. How cheap is that? Okay, so I'm gonna flip this over and we'll work on a pocket here. So if I want that pocket maybe a little higher because it's not going to be real stable. Yeah, okay. I don't think it writes with pencil on here. So, oh, it does. Good, good. I guess because I took off a lot of the wax. Okay, so that is where I'm going to do that. And all I'm going to do, hopefully, I may have to make some adjustments, is, let me get this in here and close that, is I'm going to fold it over and then just glue it shut. If I can find the line. Oh, there it is. I see. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead here with that. Cuts real easy. And then this one's over here. And I'm going to do my best to try to fold this. It isn't square, so that's why I'm going to have to make some adjustments. I had it go in this way. Okay. So what I want to do is just try to get these two ends, and I should have extra. So since this is so flimsy, let me try this. I'm going to go from corner to corner. Okay, and I'm going to very, very lightly with my bone folder. Whoops, very, very lightly kind of score it. I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm just sort of going back and forth over it. Maybe not so much for a score line, but for a line that I can at least see where to fold. So let's try it this way. Okay. And I want to go point to point. That's what I'm working on here, which is a little off. And I probably will add some lace to the front of the pocket. So now what I want to do is try to make this as square as I can. Square meaning equal on both sides. So that works there. This will have to come down here, but that works. Okay, and I'm gonna bring it over a little bit. I know it's hard for you to see, but I'm looking at the line here that it's making. Get my pencil, and we're gonna cut right there, and we're gonna cut, this is the right side, right? Yeah, we're gonna cut right there. And that should give me what I need. Now, let's hope I can do this. Actually, you know what? I think I'll do it with my ruler, if I can find what I've done with it. Here it is. And this may be easier. Okay. Trying to find where I made all my lines. Here's one, and here's the other. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one first. Try to put my little pencil mark on the line here. It's right here. I know you can't see that, but I'm gonna bring it from here to here. Okay. I think that's right. I hope that's right. If it's not, we'll do it again. Oops, I've moved my garbage can back. And then we're gonna come straight up from here to this point up here. Okay. And that, more or less, makes a pocket that I went too quickly to cut. So let me just trim that off. And let's see where we are with this. My reasoning is, just this way, this way. My reasoning is, I think with the glue in between, it should reinforce this. So we'll see. So let's go ahead, put some glue down on this, and see what we get. So I know this is now over an hour. I will probably do another video to, you know, do some decorating on these. I'll more than likely finish the tags off camera. I will get the pieces ready for doing the belly band, but I will probably assemble them here on camera. I'm just trying to kind of smooth this out so there's not a lot of lines. Easier said than done as well. Okay, let's try to get this folded. I don't know how well this worked. Worked good on the small piece. I don't know how well it's going to work on this, but here it is. Okay, so we're just going to do that. This will dry clear, and it seems that it dries the most transparent. So, and it's not too bad. And if I reinforce it with lace or a strip of paper or something down here, that will be what we're looking at. And then this is going to go right here on the front, like so. And I think the whole thing will end up just tying with a piece of ribbon, which will also hold this in place. For this, if we're going to do a standalone, we'll tie it closed. I may redo this pocket and try to make it a little bit bigger, coming from here out to here, just to give it more reinforcement so this doesn't want to fall out. But that's where we are for today, guys. This is the one No, not this one. This one's going to go on the inside. This is the one that's going to go under the belly band. Going to keep that one plain. And then this one is the one, I'm just going to put it in this way, even though it's backwards. But this is the one that's going to go here and show that little bit of lace on the end. How pretty is that going to be? So pretty, I think. Truly. Really, really nice. So that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I probably won't get another video up until like Wednesday, because I'm going to have to take some time. And we are going away this weekend for my father-in-law's memorial. So we'll be gone for about three to 4 days. I won't be able to be doing anything. So after that, I probably won't get another video up until next week sometime. So that is it. In the meantime, thank you again for your support and your kind words. And just take care of yourselves. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.